Hey everybody, so if you've been following me for a while, you know I post a lot of people's successes, including my own. Rarely share any failure, so I figured I would give you some failure that happened tonight deer hunting. I say failure, but I learned a lot. It was a pretty neat experience. It was very, very windy, but I looked at the weather earlier and it said the wind was going to die down this evening, so I thought it might be a good chance to get out. Went up into a tree stand, and like I said, super windy. Then it started clouding up again, so I checked the weather, and of course, the weather changed. It was going to get more windy, and it was going to rain pretty hard. So I got out of the tree, and there's corn planted on the edge of this woods where I'm at. So I walked in between the cornfield and the trees, and I was just going to look for sign or tracks or trail somewhere to sit up because I was using my longbow, and I was just trying to get a doe with this longbow, and I ended up finding just the start of a small scrape on the point of the woods I was hunting. And I backed up probably 6 or 7 yards off of that and tucked myself in the edge of the brush and sat there and waited and ended up seeing a really, really, really big body deer coming through. And then I ended up seeing some giant tines coming through. So I hurried up and drew my bow back, and he came right into that scrape. One of the biggest deer I've ever seen in my life. And where he stopped, he was facing me. There was just a little bit of brush covering his chest. So I just stood there and waited, and he knew something was up. He didn't keep coming. He turned and kind of went into the woods and just walked back in the direction he came from. But it was a really neat experience. I was about a step or two away from getting the buck of a lifetime with a longbow, my first time ever using this Three Rivers archery equipment. It was a blast. I'd like to start hunting on the ground a lot more just because it was so fun. Probably still will hunt on my tree stand just because it's easier, but just want to share that with you. It was a great experience. Sucks that I didn't get him. He was a really nice deer. Another point that I thought of when I was out there, I have 3 cell cameras in this property, and I've had them in there for like a year, and I've gotten 0 pictures of that buck. So if I was using the cell cameras to gauge where I'm hunting, when I'm hunting, I wouldn't even seen that deer. I actually went out and used woodsmanship and looked for tracks, looked for sign, sat on sign, and ended up getting an opportunity at a nice one. So just want to share that with you. Cameras can help, but don't fully rely on them all the time because they're not going to tell you the whole story. Especially with a mature buck, they're smart enough to know that those cameras mean danger. A lot of them have lights and stuff on them, and they do notice them in a high pressure state. So just a few things to keep in mind. Hope you enjoyed this story. I can't wait to share some more deer hunting stuff with you. It's not even November yet, so it's going to be a good season.